Once again, we expose the biased BBC's hypocrisy and double standards, this time for inviting a Labour donor, a current active Labour donor, whilst claiming that he was actually a Tory. Hello everybody, happy Monday, welcome to another show. We're going to have a lot of updates this evening, a couple of days break. Thanks to everyone who came to Manchester, our Tousi tour event in Manchester. I'm going to post a highlight of what happened that night as well. I think tomorrow I'm going to do that. But this evening we're going to have a number of videos for you guys, especially talking about censorship, mainstream media, and what happened to Alex Belfield on YouTube. He has been cancelled. I'm going to talk about that later tonight. But first, let's talk about the BBC. This came out a couple of days ago. As usual, this organisation that's supposed to be impartial, not just because of Ofcom, but also because of their Royal Charter. At times, let's just say at times, I'm going to be objective and open-minded. They make mistakes. At times, it's proactive bias. Whether it's conscious or unconscious, subconscious, whatever. We have seen so many examples of the BBC's leanings being exposed. This time, the headline says, Boris Johnson's leadership past point of no return, according to a big Tory donor. Okay, now, they could still get away with this, because it really depends how you translate this. There are a number of donors who pay, give money to various parties, sometimes the main parties at times. But then in reality, it really depends on, if you want to label them, you either have to call them political donors, because they give donations to all parties, or if you want to be consistent, at least focus on where they are now. Are they currently a Labour donor or a Tory donor? Well, we have the evidence thanks to Guido Fawkes, who did the investigation. We have this guy who, in the past, John Armitage, have given money to the In campaign, the Remain campaign, and of course, it's called the Rejoin the EU campaign back in 2016 and onwards. But as an individual, also, yes, he gave money in 2020. The last money he gave to the Conservative Party was towards the end of 2020. So over a year ago was the last time he gave money to the Tories. And the most recent case that we have is end of March 2021. They gave money to the Labour Party. But in reality, they come out and say, well, let's just call him Tory. It's easier, isn't it? Even though he was a Ramona, even though he's stopped giving money to the Conservative Party. But he does that. And that's a classic kind of mainstream media thing. Even Harry Cole has come out to say that, well, the BBC, this is obviously a few days ago when throughout the whole morning, the BBC's shows and guests and headlines where, as he calls it, well, classic vintage BBC radio headlines. One of them was, well, it's still talking about the minor issue in the House of Commons report that was targeting Brexit Britain. They try to find tiny examples of things going wrong with EU bureaucracy and blaming on Brexit. Second one was some Tory donor no one's ever heard of moaning. Of course, that was exposed that he was just a political donor, not necessarily Tory. He was also currently a Labour donor. And thirdly, the EU's brilliant response to the Ukraine crisis. This is why people are sick and tired of the mainstream media. This is why this channel is still growing and we're getting more subscribers every single day, because new media, which we have to call it now instead of calling alternative media, this is the new media platform. It has to become normalized. It has to become take over the mainstream media, because it already has in terms of audience. And this is why the establishment are scared. This is why we have cancellations, the cancel culture across the media and, of course, the culture that we have. This is why we have to focus on our fight, and we have to make sure we don't really fall for their trap and remain objective and remain honest when it comes to reporting. And when you make mistakes, say you made a mistake. I'm talking to you, BBC leadership, and of course all the other individuals as well. We're going to come back. We're going to give you a lot of other video updates throughout the evening. There's a number of gossip stuff about Justin Trudeau, so make sure to subscribe to the channel. I'm Tousi, and we are the media.